Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, February the 15th, 2018, and it is time for yet another Technical Alpha. We are on week 47. We are approaching the 50-episode mark, Mr. Black. It's coming quickly. How are you doing today?
I'm having one of those days again, man. Like, it's just one of those days. I
don't know if that means you're tired, or you woke up and an email came in and you're like, fuck the industry, or like what is where are we at?
No, it was I boot up the stream. I'm like, you know what? because normally, like, as of late, for a while now, I usually just been taking Thursdays, like the day of the podcast, to kind of just chill during the day, like not bother streaming beforehand. Just, go out.
I've been doing my chores if I have stuff like on Thursdays. That's what I've been doing. Yeah,
just getting some stuff done, just chilling.
Absolutely.
So I went out for a drive today. It was super mild out, so that was nice. Went out for like an hour and a half, just drove around, and come home. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna boot up some HOTS, and I'm setting stuff up. My day already started bad. My streaming day already started bad because I had OBS on a monitor on the left.
Right.
And I went to go check out my settings because I'd just been messing around with some things with this big monitor and stuff.
Right, of course, yeah.
And so I go over to the left and I misclick and I accidentally go live. So I'm like, all right, well, I wasn't planning on going live for like another 30 minutes, but sure, I'll go with it. So
okay.
I just boot it up, throw on some HOTS. And I'm thinking to myself, no matter what happens, I'm just gonna have some fun, just play the first game. Got a bunch of trolls, guys feeding like crazy, going crazy. We lose the game. Then I'm in my not my placement, but my D-ranking game. If I lose, I'm going back to silver. So I'm like, all right. So I play. Lo and behold, we got a guy that just starts intentionally feeding, just running into the lane, dying, calling people every name in the book, and that was the show.
This on the voice chat, or just
back down to silver, and then I go, all right, I'm gonna play another game. Play a game, I win.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right,
okay.
But I'm 2 points away from my promo game because that's just the way she goes.
2 points.
2 points. And then I play another game and I lose and I just rage quit the stream. I go to bed. I have a nap. I'm laying in bed. I wake up at about 8 p.m. and I just laid there. I went downstairs. I heat up some noodles, went back to bed, saw your message. Yo, it's just you and me tonight. I'm like, all right. Put on the clothes I've been wearing for the last 2 days. Come back downstairs. And here I am. So this has been my day. It's been my day. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, "Oh, boo-hoo, Jeff." I had to.
It's just
I had
an
to
off
go.
day. It's just an off day.
It's just one of those days, man. I just want it to end. I just want the day to end. So hopefully the podcast goes well and there isn't any topics that make me want to lose my mind.
I don't think so.
I did get my Black Panther tickets for tomorrow. I'm actually really excited. Movie looks amazing. It's got amazing reviews.
Good.
And I haven't been to the damn theater in a long time. So it's just going to be nice to... And I went over to your place to do Shadow of Colossus and skipped out on Valentine's. So Kale and I are going to go for dinner and a movie tomorrow. So, because she's been working. So
yeah, of course.
That's my day.
Well, that's... I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my day was any better than that. I'm not going to pretend like I had just kind of a swell, amazing day. I just pretty much, here, I'll let you know my day. Now, granted, I didn't play HOTS, so I think by
You're
default,
off to a good start.
I've already kind of got a leg up on you.
On a bright note.
That's my boy. I actually bought some of that today.
Nice.
Where'd you, are these the ones that you got when you left my place?
Yeah, I just didn't drink them.
Yeah.
I just bought them and they're in the fridge.
Before I go into my day, I will say part of my day was buying liquor because it was one of those days. So I went and bought some liquor. But the cans of Sapporo, I don't know who the hell did the shipment of this of these cans of Sapporo. I don't know if it was like this when you picked up yours, but I went through just about every can on the shelf, and it was packed, and I don't think one of those cans didn't get dropped out of a 5-story window onto the concrete. Every can dented, fucking wrecked, mangled, beat up, crinkled. It was just, I was just like, man, I just want one can that I feel like a rat hasn't taken a shit on it. Just one, please. And after a while, I kind of got like one good can and then 2 cans that if you squint really hard at them, they look kind of okay. But yeah, before I went and got my liquor, yesterday, I didn't stream or anything like that. I was writing my review for Shadow of the Colossus, and I kind of like zoned out. So it was a slow day. Nothing really happened until in the evening. Watched. Okay, so Gab's favorite. Let me preface this. Gab's favorite movie series basically is Twilight. Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
Mm-hmm. And
shoot me in the fucking face.
All right. Okay.
Just kill me now.
I'm with you.
If Kayla came downstairs, she was like,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you on this. Believe me, I'm with you. Now, the upshot here is that she never complained about the fact that I basically tore every fucking 5 seconds of footage of these movies apart. I was making jokes constantly, just shitting all over these movies, because they are demonstrably awful movies, and even the actors in the movies hated the movies, but damn it, they paid so well. So we got them anyway. We watched the last 2. I had overtime slow burned the first, however many. And then last night I was we were spending the Valentine's Day thing together or whatever, and all right, look, we're gonna watch it. Then we got to the end of Breaking Dawn Part 1, and I said, turn on Part 2. We're getting this done right now. I don't ever want to think about Twilight ever again. Back to back.
Isn't that just the most romantic thing you could ever say about
over 4 hours of Twilight.
Turn on Part 2.
So after that, I was pretty much brain dead. And then
yeah,
and then we watched something that and I have no shame in saying this. Way back in the day, do you remember the show when makeover shows first became a thing? I'm talking like the one with the dude with the houses and shit. What was that one called?
the guy that got busted for a bunch of DUIs.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? I can't think of the name of the show.
The home makeover.
The home makeover one?
Yeah.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
There it is.
That's the one. So when these first started happening, I don't know, that was like 14 years ago or whatever. And then ages ago, there was the one that came out called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and it was like 5 gay dudes would like go find some straight dude who looked like he hadn't actually seen the inside of a house or outside of one for that matter in like 5 years, and then overhaul everything. Okay, so Netflix, after we were done, Netflix is where we were watching these movies, and at the very top, they had just released, Netflix brought back Queer Eye for the Straight Guy with 5 totally different dudes, because obviously the original gay dudes are probably like 84 and in wheelchairs now. So they brought a whole new 5 dudes, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm watching. It's just called Queer Eye now. It's not for the straight guy because they have gay dudes as well that they, do makeovers for and shit.
I didn't know gay dudes needed help.
Yeah. Well, they actually talked about that. They were like in one of the episodes we watched. It was a gay black guy, who actually hadn't come out to his stepmother yet, and so that was going to be part of what they were doing in this episode. And they were like, they made the joke. They said that very thing. They were like, everyone thinks every gay guy on the planet is the most best dressed, well kept, perfectly manicured individual on earth. That's some bullshit. And then it showed this guy. Oh my god, dude. It was like walking into Diz's house, but instead of Heron Cove, he was in New York in like an expensive penthouse.
Well, you know what? I'm whatever. If I ruffle some feathers, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. I actually, as much as that stereotypical thing is, where gay people or queer or whatever they're calling this show, they're usually great dressed. I think that there are exceptions where you're like, okay, that guy is gay and that guy is just working it. Like that guy just knows
nailing
what he's doing.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Damn, that guy can dress.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I find a lot of gay people that think they're dressing great. It's not.
It's a swing and a miss.
Actually not. It's not good at all. Actually, it's hey, I'm gay and I think I can dress, but I actually can't dress.
Yeah, well, they actually talked a bit about that with this guy. Okay, just because everything you're saying is tied into this one episode, it's freaking amazing.
Well, look it sounds like I gotta watch this show,
dude. First of all, you should, because I'm gonna be real with you. The show's fire. The show's fire. You're gonna be hooked on the first episode. They found the perfect dude to start the whole thing with. We watched like 3-4 episodes of the shit back to back to back to back, and
better
it was
than Twilight.
Oh,
still a better love story than Twilight.
Let me tell you, that's definitely not a lie. So, this guy, since he hadn't come out yet or whatever, he had a boyfriend and everything, but he hadn't really come out. So he was like out with his friends, but not out with certain family members and shit. And so the way he was dressing, he was like intentionally like, I can't dress.
I have to not look gay.
Yeah, I can't look gay, and he had like this thing about it. And so when it was the guy's turn to overhaul his wardrobe or whatever, one of his stipulations was, I can't look overtly feminine. I just can't. I can't do that shit. And then they talked about that thing where they talked about how when gay guys first come out, often what happens is they're exposed to the entire gay community all at once, and it's like deer in headlights, and they're like, fuck,
I need a blouse.
I don't know what's happening. Let me fuck. I don't please. And then they start dressing like, they experiment like crazy, and they dress in the craziest shit, the most outlandish fucking whatever stuff that they can possibly find. And then some people stick with that, and other people are like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I wearing right now? And then, they change it all up. But yeah, straight up, I'm gonna give a shout out to Queer Eye on Netflix. It's good stuff. First episode is absolute fire. The guy they found was amazing. If you're a crier, every episode you are going to be fucking crying watching this show. I'm telling you right now.
They're gonna play the sappy music in the background.
No, it's not even really sappy.
He's gonna tell his mom he's been struggling.
It's real.
And she's gonna say, "Oh, you're so beautiful. It's okay. You could have said this a long time ago, sweetheart."
It was more like this. This guy's dad died before he got the balls to tell him that he was gay. And his stepmom, not even his actual mom, his stepmom, who's there, and his dad said to take care of his stepmom when he was gone. She didn't know all this time. She's this sweetheart Mexican lady. And yeah, it comes. Hey, dude, fire show.
Powerful.
Go on. No, it's good shit. It's good shit. Anyway, we watched that. I went to bed after having some Daryl's, by the way. Fire. But it wasn't fire at 7 o'clock in the morning when I had still had bad indigestion and I couldn't sleep. And so I watched the sun come up. And so I'm dead today. Did pretty much nothing after waking up. Stared at my monitor for about 3 hours after I went to get groceries and liquor. And then I watched a whole marathon of Twitch drama videos on YouTube.
You're at that part of the web, huh?
It actually wasn't that hard to find.
Okay.
Twitch drama is actually pretty popular on YouTube, as it turns out. You go on there, it's like 500,000.
There's like dedicated channels on drama.
Yeah, right? I had no idea.
Yeah, man. Dedicated channels.
And I'm watching them like, this is like watching some crazy, like, National Geographic shit. There's some people doing some crazy nonsense up in here.
Man. Some high school shit.
It's fucking, and I'm just gonna toss out some of that from later on.
Just put it in there now. Just put it in there now.
Okay, we'll slide it in. That sounded a little sexual. Speaking of sexual, on Twitch, don't do it. So I just have written down here, because really nothing happened this week at all in gaming whatsoever. So I've flying by the seat of my pants today. Twitch drama I have written down here seems to be just getting worse, and not like at a slow rate. It seems to be exponentially climbing as time goes on. And the drama isn't like low-key drama. Like, it just seems to be like some really, truly crazy, you said high school shit, and it's true because it's basically high school shit. But I'm watching a bunch of like 30-year-old men doing this shit, and
children.
I'm so confused, dude.
Children.
I don't understand. I'm watching it. I don't get it. Like, and sometimes people will be like, "Oh, they're all just putting on a show. It's just all fun and games, and everyone's having to." No, bro. It might have started that way.
There's egos on the line.
You can tell when somebody is putting on an act. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you think that very many people are good at acting on Twitch, I got another thing coming for you. Ain't nobody that good at acting. They're actually starting to get salty at each other. One of the ones that I saw towards the end, and it wasn't like a huge drama or anything, but I was just like surprised to see it. Summit was upset about Doc calling him out in the first 5 minutes of his return stream. He was calling Doc like a leech off of his community, saying, "How much do you need to leech off?" And I stopped there for a second. I was like, my first thought was, okay, one, that's a little weird. All right. And I don't mean Doc calling out Summit, because Doc calls out everyone. And obviously Summit is a primo target because they have a rivalry in PUBG or Fortnite or whatever.
But I don't know if it's that. I think they probably just have a rivalry on
just period.
Who's the fucking king of Twitch.
Yeah, and Summit says that he's like, I can't wait until he's irrelevant and I'm still on top. And I said, and I heard that one. And I went, hold up now. Now I'm gonna be straight with you guys. I like Doc. I'm not ignoring the fact that he did some crazy shit, but from an entertainer standpoint, the motherfucker is unreal. I've said that before. Summit, great dude, been in the game, long time. Summit's put in his work, he's put in his dues. But Summit, I gotta be real with you, bro. He's not leeching off of you. He had, at the time where he mentioned your name, he had almost 400,000 people watching him. At which point, you would stand to benefit more from him name-dropping you than he would randomly saying your name on stream in front of 380,000 people. It's just crazy. But stuff like that, and I watch more like Wreckful and all these guys, like there's this. First of all, it seems to be a lot of like the really obvious targets. They all seem to be the same people constantly caught up in drama and shit, but they're all really big players on Twitch. And it's like watching it's like watching a reality TV show, but it's not like scripted, it's actually fucking stupid. Like it's real. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's whatever. I just think it's I mean, Doc does that shit all the time. You know, Doc is always been that guy that'll call people out.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Especially his whole, like, you know, I'm the face of Twitch, and, you know...
whether he's real about it or not, it's convenient that his character that allows him to do that in character. Whether he's also in, like, being real, you know what I mean? So, like, his character allows him...
Well, it's an excuse.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's an excuse to say it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, they're in a competitive space.
Oh no, go for it.
I'm sure if Summit and Doc were chilling at PAX, that they would, you know, shake each other's hand or, you know, fucking shoot the shit or whatever. There's probably a level of joking to it, but there's also probably a deep-seated competition that's unspoken. It's kind of like, you know, you've got like the two-star quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, and, you know, they both are gods at what they do, but they do things differently, and they have diehard fans on each side, and both sides know who they are. And one week, you know, one side is doing really well, and then there's a down, and then the guy on the other side goes down but comes back up, and he's doing a war cry, and it's, you know, everyone's back and behind him, and it's like it's back and forth. I don't know. I'm speculating.
Well, I mean,
but that's likely what's going on here. I don't think it's any. I don't think there's any real war or anything like going on.
No,
I think ultimately what it does, and it's probably like, you know, them shouting out each other, even if it's in competitive or they're serious or whatever. Because I know there was some drama between Lyric and you know, another guy. I don't even want to say the wrong name in case it's whatever. what it does ultimately is the only negative is it makes it so that the fans are fighting with other fans, right?
Yeah.
And they create their own negativity. Like, obviously it's a viewer thing, and usually your chat is, I mean, Doc's chat is kind of insane. Summit's chat can be insane, but with Summit, I will actually watch a fair amount of Summit.
Yeah.
And I can handle his chat. I can't handle Doc's chat.
Yeah.
Summit's got, he's more personal, obviously, than what Doc is. Doc is a show. It's this
by nature, the chat is going to be different.
The chat is much more immature.
Yeah,
they're probably a younger demographic. Not saying that guys our age aren't watching Doc, because I do watch Doc occasionally, but I only can handle a certain amount of him, right? Because it becomes very monotonous. It's almost like watching me. If somebody watches me enough, they're gonna go, okay, the shtick is getting old. Do something different.
Yeah.
I think that's Doc as well. But there's so many people coming in, and there's so much drama and so much things to talk about. And when you're on such a large scale, there's always that reusability. And he's good at also coming up with some new things once in a while. But for the most part, it creates a war, so to speak, between the two. And even if there are people that are like, I like both, chances are they're going to start kind of siding with one or the other. And ultimately, they are a competition. And it only makes it worse for their chats, because you'll have some person that really likes Doc spamming Doc, emotes in a Summit chat, or spamming some whatever, and then they're like, get the fuck out of here, we wrecked you on the last round of PUBG or Fortnite or whatever. And it's back and forth. I think that's really the only real negative that comes out of it, as as I guess it would be more so seeing it as the content provider, because people in chat I don't think they really care regardless.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I wouldn't read too much into it. They're both entertaining. They're both the kings of Twitch. Doc is a self-proclaimed face of Twitch, and he is temporarily, but in all reality, Summit is. There almost is merit to what he says, where he's like, you'll see when I'm still here and you're not. And that may sound crazy, because Doc is so entertaining, and Summit is too, but just in a different way. But he's just the thing right now. But Summit is really, he stayed true to himself. There's never any real controversy around Summit. He's extremely consistent. He's hardworking. Not saying that Doc isn't it. He's not. I'm not going to take any stabs at Doc, but
of the two shticks, even though Summit doesn't have one, but you know what I mean. Like of the two methods in which they choose to do their streaming, obviously Summit's is a more long-term viable shtick. Even though it's not
they're both going to be here as long as they want to be. Hey, listen, if I can last 7 years in this industry, these guys ain't going nowhere.
No, exactly.
All right, they're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Boo-hoo. If they go from 30,000 viewers to 10,000 viewers, boo fuckity who. You know what I mean?
The weirdest part for me when I was looking at all these Twitch drama, YouTube video things or whatever was that we've now gotten to this point where there's this guy. What's his name? Greek God or whatever. Have you ever seen this kid?
Of course, man. I used to play with Greek all the time. Remember all my H1, Z1? Shh, come. Go to sleep. That was Greek. Greek was the guy that went into every single streamer that played games until he found, Tyler 1. And
then Tyler 1 blew him up.
And then Tyler 1 blew him up, and that was that.
And now here he is. So he's now like become some sort of weird fucking Twitch Perez Hilton. You catch what I mean though? Because he is. Have you seen what he's been doing lately? He's not crawling into fucking Twitch streams to play memes the H1Z1 anymore. He goes in, he streams other streams, and then he just I don't know, fucking low-key burns people or some shit, or digs up stuff on them and then talks about it.
He's a funny guy though.
And then he goes and he'll take things a little. I mean, he's Perez Hilton. He'll go too far with shit. And then when he gets called out on it, he's like, ah, and he just does like his little fuckboy laugh thing, and then just goes about his business like he hasn't done anything stupid. But that's the weirdest part for me, is now we've managed to get to a point in Twitch drama where somebody is building a, not even small, a Greek god, like 10, 12,000 people watching him doing literally whatever the fuck, right? We've gotten to a point where somebody has now, like, built a name for themselves based on the back of drama of other Twitch streamers. It's fucking weird.
Okay, so no. He built a name from himself from other reputable streamers.
He's maintaining it now through a similar method.
Yes, and hey, listen, I like Greek. I think he's a funny fucking guy. I've played hours and hours and hours. I'd love to play more games.
Oh, he's a funny dude.
Character.
Sure, absolutely.
Listen, I get it. All right, I get it. The reality of it is there are a finite amount of streamers out there that are officially just lazy, and and all it is just lazy content. I am so popular that I don't even have to play games on this platform anymore because, well, Twitch allows people to not play games. I'll go under IRL section, and there's tons of people that come into IRL section looking for girl streamers, because that's all reality why you're going there. All right,
yeah, pretty much.
I don't
Nobody's
care what
going there to
anybody
watch
tells
somebody
me.
play the piano.
You're going to the IRL section, and you're searching through the thumbnails to see who's got the lowest of cut shirts and who's doing a dumbass ASMR or whatever the fuck shit they call that thing where they stroke a machine and they whisper and you can hear the saliva and shit. Like, it's the most over-sexualized bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
True.
I actually anyway, don't even get me on that. But what it is now is there's a lot of people that have popularity, and I've been seeing it more and more.
Yeah.
And what they do is they can, if you have anything more than 2,000 viewers, you can go under the IRL section and do nothing. You can
right
sit
to the
there,
top.
talk to the chat,
Yep.
talk about drama, talk about whatever you want, and you can just
Double your
get a
numbers.
whole bunch of viewers because there are constantly people going and seeing what kind of bullshit is going on in the IRL section.
Yeah.
And it immediately puts you to the top, and you start growing a fan base, and obviously that fan base finds you through drama and pure laziness, and then you start to have that success. You start your stream numbers start growing, your followers start growing, your subscribers start growing, your social media starts growing, and you realize that why am I playing League of Legends? That's why a lot of these LOL streamers that made it big, they no longer play it because honestly, they don't give a fuck about LOL. They don't care. It was just a thing of the past, and it's like, why would I do this now? Why do I have to deal with the bullshit of playing games, being competitive, looking bad when I lose, dealing with all this stuff, when I can just sit here on my lazy ass and talk to the chat and become more popular? And you know what? I don't blame them. I don't fucking blame them. Do your thing, dude. If I could, trust me, I have wanted to play video games in a hot minute. All right, because it's work. It's fucking work. Fortunately, I don't have that luxury of turning on the stream, going in an IRL section, and sitting down and doing nothing. Trust me, if I could, and my stream was growing, bro, I'd be in the IRL section right now, talking some shit about Tyler 1 and Summit and Doc, and sitting around and be like, yeah, guys, you guys hear about this drama? And just do that, and just rake it in, throw on the occasional auto-tune for the new viewers, hook them, and just keep that shit going until the gravy train runs out. Hey, if I could do it, I would. So I can't blame them. It's Twitch laziness. As soon as the IRL section came out, we're seeing more and more of these morning coffees. And then the morning coffees turn into an afternoon dinner or afternoon lunch. Yeah. And then the afternoon lunch turns into
late night drinks.
Midnight drunk stream.
Drunk streams.
Every 5 subscribers is a shot.
Wreckful passing out in a restaurant after drinking 3 bottles of wine.
Let me go and buy a fucking ASMR device here.
A binaural microphone set up so that we can hear you perfectly as you lick green beans in an erotic fashion.
Go to sleep. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. So, you know, I realized something. I'm that.
It's a young person's game, Jeff.
It is.
It's
that's
a young person. We're old men now.
That's what
We're
it is.
Done.
You know what?
We're done.
We are.
Look,
it's over. It's over. And you know what?
It's fucking crazy.
I'm okay. You know, I had 7 years.
We had a good run.
I had 6 years of the spotlight. I had 6 years of the growth of Twitch and the excitement of it, and I was in its heyday. And now it is what it is, and there is still some real good stuff amongst all of it.
Oh,
Really, there is.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch.
What I realized.
I'm older.
That's what I realized. When I went and looked at these videos, I was like, dude, I'm living in
I'm
another...
31 years old, man.
I'm in another universe. I don't
31.
know any of this shit happening. This is just all like, I'm in my own little corner of Twitch, this black hole over on the side, just like 5 people and a dog, just hanging out, you know, being actually a stable human being, just hanging out, just being a normal average person. I'm not, you know, getting banned for banging rails on a fucking stream. I'm not friggin', you know, I'm not 3 sheets to the wind, fucking pissed drunk in public, getting thrown out by mobsters and shit. Whatever the fuck the young kids are into right now, I'm not in it.
I'm not in it.
And I don't even get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the entertainment value behind half of it. I mean, like, it's not like I just don't get it. I mean, I can get some things that younger people find attractive in terms of entertainment, right? Like, I can get some of it, but there's a lot of it where I'm just sitting there going, you know, what's entertaining about somebody being an honest to God fucking jackass, doing things that coincidentally they're in IRL. I'm waiting for the day where one of these streamers in IRL gets absolutely buckled. Somebody is going to get tired of their shit, and we're gonna on Twitch, the first time ever. And you know what the irony is? Twitch will ban the streamer because of violence on their own stream, them getting their shit kicked in. It's somebody is going to do something dumb. I'm surprised Ice Poseidon never got fucking killed in public, honest to God. Or like the 2 or 3 guys he spawned off on the side, fucking, you know, SoCal Ricky Bobby, whatever the fuck his name was, that other dude that looks like he's strung out 8 of the 7 days a week. Somebody's going to fucking wreck somebody's life. At some point, because they're just being assholes in public. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, dude. We're in a time where Logan Paul is like the biggest YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
So you know, Twitch is bigger than ever, and it's a young. There's a lot of young people that are watching, and sure, the older people are still watching and are still enjoying it, but I think the people that were watching it when we were kind of at our prime, or when Twitch was kind of doing their thing, and growing, those people are now older, and you know, they have jobs and careers and lives, and some of them just no longer watch Twitch. Some of them only have a small amount of time to do it, and some people just grow out of it. They just get older, and they're just like, you know, there's life outside of this thing,
whatever
that we
the
call
fuck
Twitch.
this is.
And that's cool. And I have to realize that, you know, I'm 31 years old. I'm still young. Yes, absolutely. But being 31 and being a content provider on Twitch is kind of on the older side. It's not a senior, but it's, you know, I'm like that 44-year-old in UFC that should probably, you know, or 40-year-old, 41-year-old that should probably, Jeff, you know, maybe we'll get one last oorah.
Yeah.
And I can end the career on a knockout, you know what I mean? Or you know what, if you were to hang up the towel now, you can look back and say, look what I've done, and you can look at your body of work. That's kind of like, you know, and I'm not saying that there are plenty of streamers out there, not plenty, but there are a few streamers out there that are older than me that are still fucking crushing it, or becoming at their peak at whatever age. That's cool. But I have to look at it, and for me and my priorities, when I was 23, 24, 25 years old, you know, watching somebody like, Ice Poseidon or Greek or something do something ridiculous, and I can just kind of laugh. Yeah, I might have enjoyed that a lot more. You know, I might have been like, oh yeah, that shit's funny, you know? You know, but now I look at it and I'm just like, you're fucking, you know, I get it. It's not for me. I can't really hate on it because then again, you know, I did crazy shit too. It's like when people ask me even now, it's like, Jeff, you know, can you do a master exploder? Can you do these things? In all reality is I'm over it. Like I've grown out of putting on a chainmail and sticking a lightsaber between my legs and screaming at the top of my lungs, you know. And I'm not trying to say that you can't do, I still don't do those things or whatever, but you know, a few years ago, 2 years ago, you know, I wouldn't mind doing that every day. Like it was just like, it was something I did, and it was something that I thought funny and I enjoyed. And now it's like, you know what, if I can bring it out once in a while, make it special when it warrants it, it's great. But it's just like, it's all part of growing up, and it's just like, you just grow out of the immaturity. And the thing is some people aren't growing up, and so they still want to see the same things, and that's cool. But that's the mindset, I think, of a lot of the Twitch viewers, is they enjoy the immaturity, they enjoy the craziness and the drama, they enjoy those things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on it at all. Like, you know, do your thing, as long as they're not, you know, going against terms of service or doing anything illegal or anything crazy. Then you know what? Entertainment is entertainment. But you know, if they're gonna do something overly dumb, then I'm gonna, you know, I can poke fun at them, and I can always look back and say, you know, or I can always say, you know, these young kids, man, they're, you know, they're I remember back in my day, and when you think about it, you know, 5 years before now is a long time in the world of Twitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. 5
years of Twitch or 6 years of Twitch is like 30 years and at a corporate job. Like the amount of things that change and evolve and it's absolutely nutty. Like the simple fact that there even is an IRL section is crazy. Because like you couldn't even, there was a rule that if you weren't playing games for 20 minutes, you were done.
Yeah.
Like you would get stricken down. Like there would be people waiting. I remember there was a time I went to the store to go and pick something up, and people had like a timer that were like, you've got 20 minutes. If you're not back in 20 minutes, you better shut your stream down via the phone or I'm going to report you. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. People were super strict about it. Yeah.
Now and then you had people like Swifty or whatever, the WoW guy that's Swifty, like you know, probably the senior of Twitch, still rolling, doing his thing. He then was doing 24-hour live streams of just his house. He'd have like a you know, a camera on a pool, and then you go, why isn't this guy being reported? And that was like the big thing. You know, he'd show up for, you know, 4 or 5 hours, and the rest was like people walking around this mansion or whatever the hell it was. And then eventually, and then you were able to not game, but if you weren't gaming, you couldn't be under a game list.
No,
you had to be like
to unlist yourself.
Off, yeah, like just off of whatever. And now there's, you know, there's a whole IRL section. There's an entire section to being lazy. And I'll tell you right now, there is some good things about IRL section. It creates a more of a connection with your viewer. You can sit down and really have a one-on-one. I used to do some IRL streams, like I'd have a little cooking stream or you know, have a real talk stream or whatever. But I can also tell you, as a content provider, not everybody will agree with me, but one of the nice things about IRL and why a lot of people are doing it on a daily basis now that were never doing it before is it takes away all of the stress of having to compete or having to entertain or do your thing, do your shtick, having to plan out anything, not knowing what you're going to play when it's almost like, yeah, I'll boot up the IRL stream and I'll figure out what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it, right? It's a lazy device to allow a streamer to still be present. And it's also enjoyable for a streamer too, because it is different. It's you're doing things on your own terms. There is something hectic about playing video games, as crazy as that sounds. Like, for example, if I'm, say I do an 8-hour session and I'm playing StarCraft or I'm playing League or I'm playing Shadow of Colossus with you, whatever the case may be, we know that the moment we boot up the stream, we've got, 10, 20 minutes to arrive, say hello, start it up, grind. Oh, I got to use the bathroom, right? Oh, I'll use the bathroom after I'm done this part. Or I got to order food. Well, I know when I'm getting food, this is going to take a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm ultimately going to lose a shit ton of viewers. People are going to be, whatever. And it's this constant, it's almost like you never have time. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe other streamers don't care about all this stuff. But for me, it's like I'm always on edge. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm on edge, but when I really look and think about it, it's always like
that was certainly my experience as well. Was the moment that you stopped, you went to take a piss, you went to and it's obviously more noticeable when you have less viewers, right? So because you would think that it would scale perfectly almost with how many viewers you had. So you could say, I'm going to lose X percentage of people when I go do whatever and then come back. But it doesn't actually really work like that. There seems to be some sort of we all know what it is. If you've ever gone to a house party, you walk in and you decide which group you're going to go hang out with. People will almost inherently go to the largest group of people because they automatically assume that's either the cool group or where all the fun stuff is happening, unless you're completely averse to that, which there are some people that do that. But the majority will go towards the larger group. So if you're on a bigger stream and then all of a sudden you see this person goes off for 5 minutes to go use the washroom or whatever, they lose some viewers, but they don't lose the amount of viewers that a smaller stream does, because when, I can tell you, for example, as somebody who, even early on when I was a much bigger streamer than I am now, let's say back a few years ago, I had 300 and some viewers. I'd go and eat, and in this 7-minute window, I'd go from 300 viewers down to 165 viewers. And so in this tiny window, I've lost, 135 people.
Yep.
You lose 40% plus of your friggin' stream, and it becomes noticeable. Then you get paranoid. And then you start, everything becomes, I have to do everything from my chair, and I can't possibly stop gaming. I have to keep going. Whatever it is that I'm doing, doesn't matter. I have to keep going. And like you were saying with the IRL stuff, that doesn't apply there. It's expected. I think that's the difference, is that it's an expectation. So in the gaming side, it's expected of you that you are just going to be constantly gaming.
Hurry up and queue.
Yeah.
What are you taking so long for?
Keep
Queue.
fucking going, right? And IRL, that's not the case. In IRL, you just pop on, have my morning coffee, have my, avocado toast brunch, fucking go do some shopping downtown, piss off a couple of people for putting them on camera when they don't want to be, go home, or go to a bar, do fucking sake bombs until 1 o'clock in the morning, go home, drink some more, talk, have a real talk, be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go to bed by now. Woo, peace. And it's expected. Downtime is expected in IRL.
It's all downtime.
Because it's all downtime. And so it certainly has allowed people to have a much different type of content and a different cadence to that content. And I'm not going to say that I could do what some of these IRL streamers do, because I don't think I could. It would feel weird for me going out in public. I'd always feel like I'm inconveniencing whoever the fuck is around me. I've got this big ass friggin' stick with 14.
I could definitely do it.
Devices.
And I would do some dumb stuff, but
going to a
it's just
restaurant and then setting up a fucking tripod and shit and talking and shit. That doesn't sit well with me at all. And you'll see in restaurants a lot on IRL, people will come over to these streamers and be like, "Can you fuck yourself?" just because that people are going to be bothered by it, because who wouldn't be bothered by it, right? So But yeah, it's true. People can get away with doing that stuff. But with the drama thing, it's just all it told me today was I'm an old man, and I'm out of the game. And for me now, I'm just gonna stay in my little corner of whatever and turn on my stream and play my games and do my reviews and go to bed and fucking do it all over again. And just realize that even if I wanted to, I couldn't even be part of that crowd and just watch it all from the sidelines. But I'm not gonna lie, and this might be because I'm an old man now. In this world, 28 years old, I'm young as fuck. But in the world of streaming, 28 is a dinosaur. Sorry, Jeff, you're even more you're like,
I know,
you're fossilized at this point.
I feel it too.
I'm gonna be real. I don't like it. I'm not gonna pretend like I like it. I understand it. I respect the grind. I don't care how you make your money. I don't have to like it though. And it is bothersome to me in that because you're part of the platform, you get lumped in with whatever the fuck happens on the platform, right? It's why people are upset with, PewDiePie when he did his shit, or Logan Paul when he does his shit. If you're a YouTuber, the general populace, when they hear about it, they're not going to hear about the good shit that happens on the platform. They're going to hear about this stuff that crops up, and then you get lumped in with all that crap. That's just annoying to me, because my parents will watch or something, and I'm just sitting here going, I mean, obviously my parents don't know that I'm not in that shit, but it's just embarrassing, because like when people ask, oh, what's Adam up to? What's he doing? I don't actually even want my parents to be like, oh, he works on Twitch, because what are they gonna do? They're gonna go there and fuck 3 days from now if you think shit's gonna change. By the way, I don't think it is, but they're gonna go on the site. What are they gonna see? I'm gonna go IRL right now, Jeff, real quick. Twitch.tv/ is it just / IRL?
I'm gonna guess.
Is it?
I'm gonna say
it is.
I'm gonna say, and out of the first 12,
okay,
out of the first 12 that are there, I'm gonna go with 8 of them being girls.
Okay. First one, I'm seeing a girl in the thumbnail, but I think it's a guy and a girl or something. Second one is I'm going to put quotations around this yoga stream. Oh, it's Pink Sparkles. So there are like 5 quotations around that yoga stream. The second one actually looks like a black dude, possibly, who's just playing video games. I don't know, but that's the thumbnail anyway. Some dude.
Okay. So.
Oh no, oh shit! I just scrolled down and now we got tits hanging out and a girl in what looks to be a bathrobe.
Okay, so Pink Sparkles right now is just got the lowest of cut shirt, double D's.
Yep.
Doing the downward dog as we speak.
Jeff, I want to let you know subs get Snapchat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then there's that one girl over there. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to get her.
Everyone knows who Pink Sparkles is. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, no, there's another one that's even worse. She's
I know
on
who you're talking about.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's already 8 out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 out of 12. I was
Not bad.
one off.
I found another yoga stream, but I don't think this is actually yoga. I think this is just somebody is randomly doing various aerobic-ish exercises that you'd see in like a 1990s exercise video that, Cindy Crawford would have put out or some shit. Just random leg lifts and stuff, and then just like stand up and walk around a bit, not really doing anything. It's just So I don't even really want. So I say all that. I don't even really want my parents to be like, yeah, my son's he does live video work on this site called Twitch TV, because that's the shit they're going to see. And like, what is that? How does that look for my parents? I mean, obviously, anyone who asks for an elaboration from my parents are going to believe whatever they tell them. But at the same time, it's just embarrassing.
Oh my god, dude! Anyway.
It's just
You know what?
embarrassing.
Let's move on here because now I'm going down that deep dark
Yeah, all
IRL
right, yeah,
hole
yeah.
right now.
I got you, Jeff.
And
coming at
and
you
it's-
quick. Coming at you quick. You ready? You
and
ready? You
I'm
ready
ready.
for this? All right.
I'm
This is
ready.
going to be called remakes, or would you like to see it come back? And if you've got a yes or a no to this, and if you've got why, you ready for this shit? Video game
right.
section. You ready for this shit?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. See it come back. Sequel, new game, whatever. What do you got? You want to see that?
Yeah,
Mm.
I want to see it.
Okay. The Getaway. Did you play that game on the PlayStation? I think it was PlayStation 2, maybe?
Yeah, that was like Drive, right?
It was indeed kind of like that. It was a pretty dope game. Would you like to see something like that make a comeback?
Not really.
No? Okay. Bloodborne.
No.
Half-Life 2. Do we really need Half-Life 3?
I'd rather get a Half-Life 3 than a remake of Half-Life 2.
That's what I meant. Like a sequel,
Yeah.
remake, anything. So anything with okay, Parasite Eve.
Oh, okay. So Bloodborne,
yes.
I would like a sequel.
Okay, that's what
I don't want
yeah.
a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parasite Eve.
Ooh.
Remake, remaster, sequel.
Ooh. Remaster.
Okay. Dino Crisis.
Remaster.
Streets of Rage.
No.
Gunstar Heroes.
Remake.
Oh,
Something fresh.
I'm down for that. Yeah, that's how desperate we were for content today. I just wrote down a bunch of random games and decided that was gonna be a bit.
Knights of the Old Republic, man. I wouldn't mind having a new one of those. Like a
yeah.
sequel. You
Yeah,
know, using the same, like using the lure that we have now, the canon we have now.
I think KOTOR is actually still technically part of the Disney canon. They kept it. So
Okay.
people were when Disney first announced that they were basically setting fire to the Alexandria library of Star Wars lore. People were losing their shit. Like, okay, what's going to stay, what goes, and people were obviously kind of upset about Knights of the Republic because the shit's pretty good. It's very interesting. It fits Star Wars well. In some instances, I actually prefer it to the Star Wars we get in the movies. But yeah, apparently it's still, to my knowledge, canon. And I would love to see another one for sure. I think that that game what was it, EA or who was it that shut that game down not long ago? That was probably what we were going to be getting something similar to, but it got canceled, it got canned. I don't know if we'll ever get one, but it would be fucking awesome if we did. I will say, though, that there is a project that one or two dudes working together, it might even only be this one guy, is redoing the original Knights of the Old Republic entirely in the Unreal 4 engine.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. So,
That'd be pretty awesome.
barring an unfortunate cease and desist, which is almost certainly going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there's a pipe dream on that one. I'm gonna toss this one more over here. Legend of Dragoon.
Remaster.
Speaking of remasters, Jeff, we played the Shadow of the Colossus remake. It's not even a remaster. I don't even think you can call that a remaster. That's just a ground up remake. For those of you listening or watching us right now on YouTube, you wouldn't, because this will be up tonight. This podcast will be up tonight.
Yeah. We'll get it soon.
You'll be getting the first of it soon. They are in large chunks because it's obviously an entire playthrough, and we weren't going to put out a video a day for a month. So they're, I think they average about 2 hours, I believe, a chunk. And full playthrough. Jeff and I sat down and played through it. Just thought, hey, on the podcast we could talk about our thoughts about the remake. And just and maybe just about the remake thing, remaster thing, because we seem to be in the time of remakes and remasters, and just maybe talk about thoughts about that. But what was your takeaway from the Shadow of the Colossus remake?
I liked it. I think I set a little bit too much of an expectation going into it. But didn't leave disappointed by any means. I know towards the end of the playthrough, I was getting, I just wanted it to end. Mainly because it was there. I just Kayla was off. She, I didn't think it was going to.
When you try and play a game in one sitting and you're streaming it, sometimes you get antsy.
Yeah. And it was, and I was getting antsy. But that didn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It was a great remake. It felt like the original. Obviously, it has the same problems that the original had.
Yep.
And that's that. It wasn't a worse version by any means. It was a better version. It felt like the old one except better. Graphically, and just even control wise, it felt a little bit better. And I don't know if that is because we also played it with the enhanced controls.
Yeah, we didn't figure that out until later, but because it had been so long since we last played the game, but we were in fact playing with the new control set that was made to try and be more manageable. And I certainly could, I didn't feel like I was having problems with the controls specifically at all. Even when doing some of the more intensive stuff, like trying to shoot an arrow while riding the horse, for example.
Yeah.
I thought it was same thing. I thought it was fantastic. I was really surprised at how accurate it was to the original. Especially because we're talking about something that was completely pretty much built again anew from the ground up. The way that the characters moved and the way that it played, it all just felt so authentic to the original. But again, it did just feel better. Now, obviously, the frame rate being higher probably played a little part in that for sure. And graphically, obviously, they did a really damn good job.
That game is pretty.
It is
that game is pretty.
Really, really freakishly good looking. The if you wanted to call it, I guess the cinematography of the game was good in the original, but with the graphic overhaul that they had, it was even more apparent in this one. And basically every 3 seconds was like the cover of a movie, like a movie poster, or like the cover to it was just a wallpaper. Everything was just incredible. Or it looked like concept art, like in that the Colossi that we were the Colossus we were fighting, the giraffe one where he has to drop his head in front of the opening to the little kind of cave that you have to run into, and you're looking up. And everything is silhouetted because you're in this dark cave and there's a bright light coming through the mouth of it. And you see just the Colossus's head slowly go down, in front. And there you just see your little dude, his silhouette on this staircase looking out. The sun's coming in. This head comes down. You're just like, the fuck? Like, you don't see that shit in games very often. Like, it's really... It really stands out in that regard. The sounds obviously were completely redone as well. The music is still awesome. When you're fighting a Colossus, the music is just fantastic. And I found out after you left, and I was looking more about what was on offer. They still had, like in the original game, New Game Plus and stuff like that. Time attack mode, just like the old game as well. When you beat it, you can go back and you kneel at the statues in the temple. And you can do time attack, and when you do every 2 Colossi that you beat in time attack mode, which is actually, they're a little harder, they have more health than they do normally, you unlock items, and those items give you things like you do more damage, or you have more stamina, or you can get arrows, for example, that do a better job of getting the Colossus's attention and things like that. So there's a whole slew of things there. And then what they added into the game as well was collecting some coins or something that I'm not sure if I know what the item is that you get for collecting them all yet, but that's in there. And then the other thing that was new that they added is in New Game Plus, you can do what's called a mirror mode. And I guess after talking with the chat, it actually physically mirrors the map, and so it changes the battles quite dramatically. And where you have to, obviously where you have to go and whatnot, and it makes the game look, it sounds silly that just flipping the thing horizontal could fuck with you so hard, but it just looks so much different that it feels like you're playing, something different than you did before, despite the fact that it's similar. So that mode is in there as well. So I think they struck a really good balance between making the game feel like the original game, making it look and sound amazing, and just adding little shit that is not crazy, but it's nice to have for people that want to add more, replayability to the game. And on top of all of that, it's not even full price.
Yeah, they nailed it. They hit it out the park. I mean, it's just really that simple. For a remake, is everything that you could want and some. If you've played the game and you're a massive fan of Shadow of Colossus, it's worth every cent to replay it and re-experience it in 2018. And if you've never played it before, I think it's the best version that you could ever buy. So on top of that, it's almost like when Brood War Remastered came out and people played Brood War, people were just like, either they liked it a lot, or they're just like, you know what, it's not quite the original. There's something not right about this. It doesn't feel like the original. And to an extent, they're right. With this is, if you're new to it and everyone that you're hearing is saying how great of a game it is, if you've got the question, well, should I play the original or should I play the new one? The answer, I think if anybody's played both, will say play the new one, because you're not actually missing out on anything from not playing the original.
No.
It plays just like the original, except better. And that, in my opinion, is the perfect remake. I don't know if there's anybody out there that can complain about the remake of Shadow of Colossus. I mean, I think if you do at that point, you're just stubborn. You're just so you're using some sort of personal bias to make an argument that really there should be no need for the argument. It's got better reviews. It plays the same. It looks better. It sounds better. It's everything that you could want in a remake. 10 out of 10 for it being a remake. Still like a 9 out of 10 for the game itself. I enjoyed it. I really did. I played the vast majority of it. You played quite a bit too towards the end. So
yeah.
It was fun. It was a good time to sit back and play it. It's a beautiful looking game, and it's Shadow of Colossus.
I think for sure, and this game and like you said with Brood War and the fact that we've had so many remasters and remakes. We've had remasters of games that were from like last generation. Like it's getting a bit excessive in some cases. Like some of these games have barely been on a shelf for 5 years, and all of a sudden we're getting like the HD remaster of, The Last of Us. And you're like, what?
Yep.
So with all of these things coming out and they're being tackled in different ways, the thing that's starting to, the discussion that's cropped up with this, and I think we talked about it on the podcast before, was the whole concept of when you're doing a remake like this, is where do you draw the line for what you change? Even if it isn't an ideal thing, like for example in Shadow of the Colossus, using your sword as to direct you to each Colossus, because it's directing you directly to the Colossus and not necessarily checkpoints along the way to get you there, you can get lost because you're trying to use a less than ideal map plus the sword to bring you to a destination. Some of them are relatively well hidden. So a question might be, well, with this remaster, do we fix that problem? Do we change the map? Do we change it so the sword does lead you to a checkpointed system, like the mouth of this canyon, and then the left bend, and then the next, like, so you're tic-tac-toeing your way to your destination, or do you just leave it? Because where's the line? And with Brood War, that was a great case for it, because a lot of people were like, Brood War's broken as fuck. But if we change this shit, it's going to change the balance of the game because people have been playing this game for 20 years. How are we, where do you draw the line for quality of life versus, overcompensating and changing things that the game almost relies on? So with a game, for example, like what's a game that you might like to see other than the list that we just talked about? For example, is there any game
Warcraft 3?
Okay, so Warcraft 3. So like in Warcraft 3, can you think of like would you just like them to just do a straight visual overhaul and touch nothing, kind of like they did with Shadow of the Colossus,
No.
or would you actually like them to reach in?
I would like them to reach in and
Tinker.
Mainly because we saw what happened with Brood War, and
Right.
it's a proof of concept that sure, yeah, I'm sure they sold lots of copies, but ain't nobody playing it.
Now,
Ain't
is that
nobody-
an issue that would make the most make sense that it in the RTS genre of all
I think-
places?
I think so. I think in RTS you kind of have to change with the times, right? Especially with the standard of players now, and if you want to get new people involved, they have a certain standard that they're used to, and if you dumb it down or you make it very difficult of the technology that we had back 15, 20 years ago, it makes it for an unpleasant thing. It would be cool. I think probably the best case scenario would be if they want to do the single player campaign, you can have the old option of playing with the old settings, but then have a revamped version for 2018. I think it would do well. And sometimes it's a fine line to cross because you're going to have those diehard people that are going to be like, don't you dare touch my baby. And it's no different than remakes of film where they're like, you know what, I don't want, or like, a black James Bond, right? I don't want a black James Bond.
Yeah.
I only want a white James Bond.
Yeah.
And then you get, or for example, I don't know, Terminator. It's like, I want my old Terminator. I don't want a new Terminator, or when there's going to be a new Wolverine that's inevitably going to come. I don't want this.
It's like a case by case basis, then, isn't it? Really,
I really think it does, because I think when a game is so great, and it's cherished so much that you almost you have to kind of listen and make. We're not talking about changing the whole game. We're not talking about the fundamentals, like just completely fucking changing names of characters, changing the campaign storylines, nothing. We're talking about, for the most part, when it comes to RTSs, I'm talking about mechanically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Hotkeys,
Yeah. Can I select more than
stuff,
3 units at the same time?
Those things, change that. Come on. Change that. I mean, Brood War was made on for the N64. If it worked on the N64 and you're going to leave it the same for PC in 2018, you're doing something wrong, okay? You got to make some changes. And yeah, sure. The Brood War elitists out there are happy, but are you happy now that your game, your remastered or your remake or remastered is dead? Are you happy now? Or would you like to see the life continue of the genre, of the name, and have a piece of your childhood there? And if you don't like it, you can go play the old one. It doesn't, it's whatever. So yeah, I think it is a case to case basis, which kind of is shitty to say, because it's, you would think that, well, Jeff, it's either got to be one or the other, right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. But I really think it really is a base, and I'm saying that as unbiased as I can. It's I'm trying to be that guy that's down the middle. Ultimately, why I'm saying on a case to case, it's like Final Fantasy VII. When that comes out, it's, do you change, how the battles work, how with the limit breaks? Do we
remove Cloud cross-dressing scene because we don't want to offend the soft Westerners?
Exactly. So when it comes to things like that, I have to realize that I'm going, okay, as a diehard Final Fantasy VII fanboy,
Right.
for me, I am happy as long as they keep the story the same in the game, but I also have to understand that it's 2018. This isn't like 19 or whatever year it was, 1996, 97. It's not 1997 anymore. Things have got to change. The controls have got to change a bit. The people playing the games, yeah, sure, we're gonna buy it, we're gonna play it, but those things have got to change. So I have to kind of get rid of my own person. Listen, if I could have it my way, I wouldn't even have a Final Fantasy VII remake. Let's just say, just let it go. Just let it go.
Let it die.
But you're gonna do it. So
yeah,
if you're gonna do it, then at least surprise me. Like, just don't fuck up the integrity of Final Fantasy VII. And if you've got some Easter eggs for me, or if you want to add a cutscene or two, or you feel like you're going to add to the story by having a couple of extra moments, I'm down for that. And I'm going to do my best to not shit on them because I'm angry that the game is different. I'll be honest, and I'll say that really worked. It's like a director's cut for a movie. A lot of the stuff shit gets chopped up because it's gotta be a certain length for theatrical purposes, because they also know that depending on the demographic, certain people don't want to be in the theater for so long, and people's attention spans things, and certain lengths of movies actually dictate how much money a movie can and cannot make at the box office. There's a whole bunch of slew of shit. But then you've also got the director's cut that comes out, and sometimes the director's cut is better than the original movie because they're adding more that gives more to the story, gives more emotional attachment to characters, that explains things a little bit better. And then you realize, like, hey, you know what? This remake version or this advanced or an enhanced version is better than the original. But sometimes they just have to do things for the sake of doing things. And I think that's cool. I think that's totally fine. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that the remake, remaster, redo, whatever, has gotten a little crazy. But at the same time, I agree with what you're saying for the projects where it does crop up where it does seem to make sense. That sometimes it is a case by case basis. I would also agree, because like in the case of Shadow of the Colossus, yeah, they could have made changes to it, but would it really have improved the game so dramatically? Not really, and if you changed how, for example, Wander, which is the character you play, felt when climbing these colossi, it would just wildly have changed the game in a way, and
the whole
just
feel.
Yeah,
so
sometimes you just gotta know when to pull back on the reins, and just say, look, we don't need to go that far, and sometimes you gotta do a little bit more for it to bring it up, because again, like you said, as well, to a degree, or sort of a roundabout way of saying it, is ultimately these things have to sell, and they're selling it they're hoping to sell this not just to a bunch of like 30-year-old, 40-year-old men that played the games 20 years ago. They're hoping to also sell this to a new group of people that never experienced the game originally, right? And so sometimes concessions have to be made, changes have to be made to adapt the title for the current, climate of gamer, so that they can actually recoup some of the money on it. Now, do I think that applies to Final Fantasy VII's remake, where they're chopping this bad boy up into 47 chapters, selling it for $500 a pop? No, I think that's probably pushing it a little bit. But
they're money gouging. They know we're buying.
Oh yeah,
and
they're getting it.
They're getting it.
They're getting it in.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open up my wallet.
And I'm gonna buy it.
And I'm gonna give it to them.
I'm gonna hate every moment of the fact that I'm doing it.
I'm gonna be extra judgmental. Like, this game better fucking blow me away.
Yeah, it better. It better
blow me away.
But yeah, so both of us, 2 thumbs up on the Shadow of the Colossus remake. I'll have a full review of it out on my YouTube channel and on the website in, I don't know, within a week or two, depending on how fast it gets edited. But yeah, good stuff. And again, not full price. I want to say it's $39 in the States or so, $49 here in Canadian pesos. And hot damn. And if you haven't played it before, this is definitely the time to play it.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff.
Or watch our playthrough.
That's also a possibility for sure. Do that anyway.
But play it. You really should play it.
You should really play it. I believe it's on both of our top 10 lists. YouTube. We can talk about YouTube. We talked about Twitch, now we can talk about YouTube. YouTube says YouTube Red is a premium music streaming service. That comes out of the CEO's mouth. So I've been sitting here this whole time, Jeff, as a content creator on YouTube for all this time when Red came out and it was, hey guys, Red's going to allow you to get you more money every month because we're going to be cutting every partner in on a bit of that YouTube Red revenue. And what it's going to mean is it's going to mean that we're going to be able to put together some like higher quality production. It's going to almost be like a premium service for YouTube. We're going to have all the people shooting themselves in bathrooms with their cell phone camera talking about, the McDonald's they had that day. And then we're going to have like people putting like serious production money into these,
Have you ever watched the YouTube Red production?
No, I haven't. I've just seen what's come out, and I'm going to mention one of them here in a not too distant future. So that's how I always saw it, right? It was that, and because it's YouTube Red, we had the option on LAGTV, not that we would have ever been stupid enough to do it, to lock videos behind needing YouTube Red to watch it, which again, dumb as fuck. So the CEO comes out and says, no, you got YouTube Red all wrong, guys. YouTube Red is first and foremost a premium music streaming service. And we all know that I think that she's batshit crazy. I've said that for years. Pretty much in the first 6 months of her entering YouTube, shit went so tits up so fast that I just blows my mind. I don't think she's made a singular intelligent move since she's entered the company, but what the fuck do I know? YouTube Red being a premium... Who the shit is using YouTube Red as a premium music service, Jeff? No one?
No one.
That's what I thought.
No one. They're using Spotify.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. She says that, and then I see that YouTube Red has this series production called Cobra Kai, which is a Karate Kid spin-off starring... And this is a series, not a one-off. This is a series... starring the originals. So the Karate Kid himself, or what is his name? Ralph Macchio. I think it's a hard C's, double C there, I think. And then William Zabka, who was his rival from Cobra Kai in the movie. I can't remember his character's name in the movie off the top of my head. And the trailer's up. You can watch it. I didn't link it for us, Jeff. I apologize, but it's super easy to find, obviously. And it's... I'm sitting here going, I thought YouTube Red was a premium music streaming service. Why is this happening? I don't know. I can't put that together personally. It's silly. It's silly. Now, I don't have anything wrong with these series cropping up. Am I going to pay for it? No, not a chance in hell. But this is what I always envisioned YouTube Red to be. I mean, we all know that YouTube loves their music videos. They love Vivo. You watch the trailer for it? Yeah. We're not done here. That's a real thing.
Is this really?
That's a real thing, bro.
Are they actually going to fight, or are they training people? Tell me they're training.
I don't know yet. I don't know. It's possible both. It's possible both. It's a tough call. I mean, both of those guys are getting up there. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I can see wrinkles on their faces.
Now, the real question is, Jeff, at the end of this series, when it inevitably goes to a tournament, is the winning move the crane kick?
I hope so.
Sweep the leg!
This is... I'm sorry. You shouldn't even have dropped this on me. This is just fucking stupid. All right, YouTube.
So yeah, YouTube Red. I just
that premium service of music is just it's
killing it. For real, I don't think YouTube even knows what YouTube Red is supposed to be.
They don't.
I don't think they know at all. Here's my assessment of YouTube and YouTube's current CEO. All right.
What about that tweet?
Oh, that tweet. Oh my God, that tweet. Yeah, did the one I sent you? Tell me that wasn't the most amazing tweet you've ever seen.
I legitimately laughed. Like, you know, sometimes when you say lol, you don't even laugh.
No, but you
I legit laughed.
Is it still up? Did they delete that tweet?
Oh, it's up. It's up.
Is it really?
At least it was earlier.
It is. It's still here. Oh my God, they committed to that fucking tweet.
Oh, they
dude.
don't care.
They committed. Okay, now if this isn't one of now I know we talked about people getting offended for dumb shit. I don't think either of us are necessarily offended. It's just so dumb that it's actually funny. Like it's so tone deaf that I can't even fathom it. Like I just don't even know. YouTube is in the midst of a PR shitstorm where their biggest creator is doing everything short of bombing cities, and then their social media manager, whoever the hell that is, whatever hero,
he was high. He was high.
Oh, he was on something. You know, my first thought came to mind. Somebody was quitting their job, and then that was their last tweet. They're like, "Fuck it, I'm quitting this shit. I might as well go out with a bang." I'm gonna read this tweet. It's still up right now, as of this live recording, with 10,800 retweets and 33,500 likes. Roses are red, violets are blue. Subscribe to Black creators.
Yes,
so
please.
Bad.
Yes, please. And it's Black History Month.
I know, it's so bad. Come on, man. Really?
Roses are red, violets are blue. Subscribe to Black creators.
At least make it rhyme, man.
And it's like, and you're talking about black people, you got to at least make it rhyme.
Exactly.
You got to at least
put some
make
effort
it rhyme.
in. If you're gonna be low key racist, at least fucking. So this is dumb on a number of levels. One, I think it's really first. Well, it's just dumb. Period. But okay, so I know that you don't take offense to this necessarily in the way that you know people might think, but doesn't it feel a little weird that in Black History Month, it's places like YouTube and even Twitch did this shit. They had this big. I don't know if you ever saw in there. They tweeted out this was like. They were gonna do this push for Black creators like Front Page and
don't do that.
They
Please
did so they had all this
I don't
thing
want to
and
see
they
the
had
tryhards.
dude they had a preview. They had like this preview like trailer video of like Black History Month but Black creators and everything, and they were gonna be pushing them throughout February or some shit. And now YouTube's doing it. Okay, I'm not black. All right, not even a little bit. I could do Ancestry.com. There is not a single black cell in this body. But if
so that's why Jeff was on Front Page.
Yeah. You didn't even know. You were getting debated.
I didn't even know.
You just got paraded around.
You just released my trap cat.
Yeah, exactly. But if I was a black creator and I saw this, I don't think I'm happy. Not because the message is tone deaf from YouTube's point of view or whatever, or Twitch's point of view, but like it's like, hey guys, it's Black History Month. I bet you the black creators would like some free handouts.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like getting a job not because I'm qualified, but because I was black or because I was a woman or because I was like in a wheelchair and we needed, it was. What's the name of that in the workplace here in Canada? There's an actual name for that.
I don't know. Discrimination?
No. Like it's actually there's where certain things. Somebody in chat might remember what might know what it is. Oh, fuck, I can never remember this. I always have a problem forgetting remembering this term. But it's affirmative action. That's it. The series got me. Affirmative action. Which was basically like, all right, guys, certain places have to hire certain demographics, and nothing on skill or ability, but just we had to fill a quota, and that's what it feels like. It feels like Twitch and YouTube affirmative action. Well, it's Black History Month. Let's push.
At least Twitch didn't go through with it.
Oh no, they did.
Oh, I didn't see any of this stuff. So
it
must not have been a big deal.
Unless I've literally had a dream. where I envisioned all of this happening. History Month. I'm almost positive right now.
Listen, I get it. Like, I'm not.
Right here.
I didn't see anything that Twitch has done. And you know what? Honestly, do you have a link? Yeah.
I just look at that. Look at that
give
fire thumbnail. Look at that fire thumbnail, bro. Oh, African American History Month, more commonly known as Black History Month. Thanks for the clarification, blog. I appreciate the help clearing that up.
I'm not even on that list. I'm not even on that schedule.
No, bro. You're caught in the middle. They were probably pulling up like some low-key guys and then like a couple of really big streamers or something. Oh my god.
Yeah. You know what, man? Like,
look, I don't care that they're doing. Like, I don't feel like I'm losing out because there's not like a let's promote, because they promote, So I don't feel that way. I just feel like if I was in that community, I'd be like, bro, just tell me that I'm gonna get some shine because I'm actually a good content creator, not just because it's Black fucking History Month.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I would feel.
I get that. I try and stick up for Twitch as much as I can. Listen, I coming from a black guy, I see what they're doing, and I actually can appreciate the sentiment, right?
Sure.
It's
obviously it's not a hostile thing they're doing,
no,
but
no,
it does seem like it does kind of feel like here's a predominantly white company trying to do something nice.
It almost feels like no one black at Twitch was part of maybe this, because if they did, they would probably like, guys, it's one thing. You know what would have been really cool? What it would have been awesome for Twitch to do is if they got the rights to play, some sort of black show on the site, whether it would be playing, Roots,
Family
Matter. That would have been great. Playing a black sitcom or something. Well, I think that would have been much more impactful.
Way better.
And it would have been a thing where people would have known what they were doing. It's like, oh, you're playing the show because it's Black History Month. But then again, the content creators, I don't know how they felt. Like, I wasn't part of this. And honestly, they didn't make a big deal of it because I didn't even know this thing existed.
Yeah.
Right? But everything about this page, from the artwork with the black people there, and one's got an afro and one's on music, and the other dude's, one
flexing.
Guy's having so much fun playing video games, the other guy's flexing and swagging out. And then there's a big list of what I'm assuming are all black streamers. Maybe not.
I think the one that's there is where the times in which they're going to be on the front page or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if all those content creators are black. It would be really cool if some of them were white and they were bringing.
They're all black.
Okay. All right. So, if that wasn't there and they were I don't know. I don't know. This obviously is not as bad as YouTube coming out with that tweet. That shit is just like, shit is heinous.
They're both tone deaf in different, like in similar fashions, right? It's there might have been. Well, it's harder to make the case for YouTube, but for Twitch, it's obviously
it came from a good place.
Yeah,
great intentions. You can't hate on them for that.
No, but I would just like it does. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type shit.
Exactly. You can't hate on them for it. It's just.
But it does come across as a little. Like you said, if there was anyone black in the company, they weren't involved in it.
Well, it's almost like, when there's the whole pride thing happening, are you going to make a thumbnail of a bunch of, rainbows and different gay people, female, male, and then you're going to have a lineup of gay streamers that are gonna periodically go throughout the day. You know, it's sort of the same thing. It really is, where you're putting us into a category, and I understand that you're trying to bring awareness to Black History Month, which I think everybody should know the history of Black History Month, white, black, whatever. I think it's important. Maybe that's just because I'm black and, you know, I'm a little bit biased.
I think the safe thing to say is it's never a bad thing to know the cultural history of any race that is prominent within the country in which you live.
Native American, all of that.
Yeah.
I think it's there.
Never a bad thing to know.
It's never a bad thing. And if you don't want to learn about it, it doesn't make you a bad person by any means, or racist or anything like that. There's no rule against it. So I think it's a great idea on what Twitch was. Actually, I think it was a bad idea, but I think the
intentions were good.
The intentions were spot on. Just the implementation comes off a little bit like, you know, charity. It comes off.
That's what I'm getting at. Is it
like a handout? Like you said,
yeah.
It's like, you know, the black guy looking for scraps. It's hey, you know, we don't give you guys shine on a regular basis, so during this month, we're going to be sure to hook you brothers up and sisters up, and it's going to be great.
Because, and I can't say this definitively because I'm not watching these streamers when they go live to the front page for their promotional bit for this, but it's not like they're well. And again, I shouldn't. I'm assuming this for sure. I'll make an ass of myself by making some assumptions here. The odds are not great, is how I guess I'll word this, that they're going to sit there and talk about Black History Month or Black history within America. The odds of that are not great. They're going to take their shine on the front page. They're going to do what they likely do whenever they're doing a regular stream anyway. They might talk about the fact of why they're on the front page. But, I mean, I think, like you said as well, if this was really about Black History Month, then why don't make it about Black history? Don't make it about the black community for the sake of Black History Month. Make it about Black history. Run culturally relevant TV shows.
That's what I think. That would be perfect, man, because everyone's going to know it's Black History Month.
If they can get licensing to do that shit, obviously. But that should probably have been the thrust instead of just let's parade members of our black community out on the front page and be like, hey, Black History Month.
Or if you couldn't do that, which I'm sure they probably could have, seeing as though it would have been like an educational thing and Twitch is so huge and it would have made for great headlines and good PR.
Made something happen.
They probably could have made something happen.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not Family Matters, or I have no idea. But at the very least, I think what they could have done without doing anything is they could have just made a Black History Month emote, and that was the show, you know, or had a day throughout the month where a certain emote or a pop down or something like that came up and people could just click it off or take part in their own way, and that's the show. They didn't, you know, you don't have to go, you know, all that crazy, but I don't really care. Like, it doesn't.
Again, like I said,
doesn't bug me.
I doubt you
it's
care.
not a bad thing.
It's
but
just it's a bit comedic. It's definitely tone deaf as all hell.
Yeah.
And you know, for all we know, you know, the people that are getting put on the front page, they're probably thrilled. A lot of these people are.
Well,
are
and then
thrilled
when you think about it, what about the other minorities? You know, what about you know?
That's the thing that's always said. It's like, what about
the white
Black
guys
History
and
Month?
Gals?
Yeah, what about Chinese History Month? What about Japanese History Month? In the States and Japan have some seriously dark shit with just, I mean, fuck. So, I mean, there's a lot that could be covered, and you don't, how often do you hear the Japanese community going, well, shit, why don't we get our shine on this shit? We got treated fucking terribly here. You see George Takei talking about it. You know, he's one of the obviously, because his family was part of it, but you know, and then obviously, and this is the whole the whole thing for North America and even in places in Europe now is that then aren't at the end of the day, at some point, maybe not right now, but at some point, when does it kind of become ironically like counter white, like just kind of like well, and I know I personally incite Jordan Peterson's name every 5 fucking minutes these days because I've been watching all of this stuff and whatnot, but he brings a lot of good points to the table, and one of them that he's mentioned is that at some point, it's like and he's seeing this as a clinical psychologist, he's seeing this, there is now like an inherent shame to being white.
Yep.
Because you've got
it also puts white people in an awkward position because you're
that's
also,
what I mean.
Yeah,
right?
it's like if you're not on board with this, you're a racist or there's you're an asshole, like you don't get it.
It's going to be scrutinized hard no matter how you do it.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like, I do feel like I've never been huge on Black History Month. I've never I've never been the type of guy that would like, change a display picture or wear some African heritage clothes throughout the month. And I have family members that are like that. Like
you're not strapping Malcolm X and Martin Luther.
But my dad's side, extremely black, like,
Southern Baptist.
Very Baptist, very into the roots of where they came from.
Black history.
They know Black history, and there's nothing wrong with knowing and respecting.
Absolutely
I
not.
have a couple of cousins that every day this month they've been posting influential people in the Black community or around the world and doing a write up on them and stuff. Like people, I get that, and I respect that. For me, I shouldn't say I don't care, but I'm not like the type of guy that's like, oh, well, every day is white history and this is our month to shine. I'm not that type of person. I am the type of person though that is happy to be an African American. I don't shun away from it. I'm not the type of guy that is embarrassed or the opposite side, like a showboating, like fucking this and that. I'm comfortable with who I am, and I don't make it an issue. The problem is I feel like a lot of white companies, and I say that even sounds bad, but the vast majority of these companies are ran by white
secret.
People. It's just the way it is,
secret.
and it's not a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Just reality,
but it is. I think they're trying too hard to show that they're not racist or showing that they're in tune with, like, that they're woke and that they get it and they're
woke white guy.
That's how I feel. It's almost like you're trying too hard. It's like the guy, the one friend of the group that's just trying way too hard to get everybody's attention and be the center of attention. And if you just be yourself and everything is cool, like it's not a problem. Like nobody's out. A lot of people are not out there crying that we need more representation of the Black community during this month. At least I don't see it. Maybe it's different in America. Could be. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of controversy right now with Black Panther. There's a lot of people that are, black cast, black director, black, just black, just thrown all over the place. And the movie is apparently amazing. And that also upsets people that it is having so much traction. And it's I don't think that we have that problem here with Black History Month. I think there's butting heads.
Always.
Between black and white. It's always been that way for a long time.
The reality is that a lot of the issues that are being raised between men and women go amongst the racial groups. And it's almost exclusively, at least over here on this side of things, and I'm not going to speak, outside of our own bubble here, but it's white versus insert other racial group.
Yep.
And so no matter what you're looking at, it's You do. I haven't personally felt pressured in that way. Or not pressured, but I haven't felt too much of the need to tiptoe to avoid scrutiny as a white, average white male, whatever the fuck you want to, call me.
A white privilege.
Yeah. So I've never, but in more recent times, it started to feel that way because when you start having conversations, that kind of stuff gets pinned on you first. It's the first thing to crop up.
Mhm.
Is they'll find labels, and then like we've talked about before, and that's it. And then so only recently has that been have I started to feel more of that, and I guess I've been lucky to avoid it for as long as I have. But that is weird. It is a little weird. It's at some point, and we might already be at that point now, for all I fucking know. But there's going to be discrimination against the white people. Because it's reverse racism, right? It gets to the point where it's like you're not kissing in my boots hard enough for shit that happened. Fucking.
I just think that's ridiculous. And you know what?
Ago.
Honestly, I know people, that are black that hate white people. And as crazy as that may sound to some people, because usually you always think like white people have a problem with black people.
Well, that's the narrative in media, right? Is it's always
yes, but I know people, and I know of family members. I guess hate's a strong word, but they feel like the white man is holding them back.
Yeah.
And I know I grew up with a couple of black friends that feel the same way, that they
their
blame
problems are generated
their
by
problems are because of their white boss or their white teachers or their white friends or their white prime minister or their white whatever, and they don't want to take any responsibility for themselves, and it's their out. And if and you normally don't hear white people say that about black people, because typically black people aren't the ones that are
in positions of
position of power.
Yeah.
And so, it just gets kind of swept under the rug. And the reality of it is I feel for a lot of white people that get put into that, because I don't know where this conversation came from, but
remember, roses are red, violets are blue.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You subscribe to black creators.
Listen, I love me some white people. You're my best friend. You're white.
Yeah.
My mom's white.
We can't just say that though, because by association, it's like I'm not racist.
Well,
my best friend's black.
Fuck them. My mom's white. My best friends are the 99% of the people that my wife is white. The 99% of the people that I surround myself with are white. That's just it. I mean, that's the reality of it. But I can tell you, when I have a problem or something goes wrong, I don't blame my white friends or my white whatever for my issues. And I really do feel, because, and you know what? The vast majority of my viewers are likely white.
No, absolutely.
And it's ridiculous. It's something I don't think will ever change. I think the whole white privilege thing, for the most part, is I think it's more of a mindset for certain individuals, but I don't even think it exists really. For me, and it's easy for me to say that as somebody that is taking control of their own life and hasn't relied on a white boss or a white teacher to guide me or whatever. I kind of just found my own path, and not everybody has had that luxury or has had that determination or luck or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so they feel suppressed because everyone around them is white and above them in their eyes. So, I feel for white people that have to deal with that shit on a regular basis. You know, even if you're hearing it from a black dude that's like, fuck you, you got white privilege. I bet, you know, you're sitting on your dad's money or you know, how did you get that job? It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. You don't know who I'm talking about. And then the black person will go, who the fuck are you talking to like that? You fucking racist bitch. You know, and that's literally, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it feels weird even you know, saying what I'm saying right now, coming from being a black guy, but that's just a lot of the stuff that people don't talk about. It's ridiculous.
It's like white people don't actually struggle ever. It doesn't exist.
It's ridiculous, dude.
It does not. It's impossible.
Of course they do. We're all humans.
There's
people.
never been a white person that, you know, and then the argument becomes, well, if you put a black and a white guy in a ghetto, the white guy is going to get out because they're white and they'll be looked at more favorably. You know, like there's truth to some degrees with these things, but you have to understand now that you can't, like you said, not everything is an out. It's a reason.
It's an excuse,
man. to not just go and fucking do the thing.
Do it. Yeah.
Does that mean that there aren't situations that crop up where somebody's going to get shafted because they're black or Asian or something's another? Fucking absolutely.
Happens all the time. Yeah.
Is it?
And it's not fair.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah.
Is that the majority of what's going on in the year 2018?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
It's a very dangerous idea to perpetuate because you end up with entire generations who miss out on their own opportunities because they don't want to simply because they can't look past that idea. It's like, no matter how hard I try, some white guy or white girl out there is going to make sure that I can't get to where I'm going. So why put in effort? I mean, if you think about it, is there still racism today? Obviously, we all know there is. It's crazy. It's not just against black people. Fucking all manner of going in every direction. It's constant. It's just a big spaghetti monster clusterfuck of racism. But at the end of the day, think about this. There were incredibly successful black people in like the early 1900s. If those people can pull that shit off, I'm pretty sure that
they've got dogs chasing them and they can still do it.
If you're in suburbia somewhere and you're black or you're Mexican or you're of Asian descent or something,
or you're in Brooklyn, you are pretty sure
to come up against some challenges, but I think you can fucking pull it off.
I think so.
Right? I think it's very doable. But again, it's just everyone's got their excuses. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I did everything I could with with whatever gifts that I was given. I didn't maximize my opportunities by any stretch, but you won't hear me sit at home and be like, well, fucking A.
It's all Jeff's fault.
It's all Jeff's fault.
That black motherfucker. He should have never have got me into this.
Son of a bitch.
Jeez, man.
No, it's I had a choice. I made one. Here I am. It's not somebody else made that choice for me. I made that choice. Shit happens. Life goes on. And now I can't even say. I remember there was a conversation I had not that long ago. It was an online thing. And somebody was like, that's just fucking racist. And I was and I was just like, I just sitting there going, and you want to say my best friend's black, right? and but the problem is you can't say that because they're like, that doesn't matter. You can't. No matter what I tell them, it's like they've already made up their mind, so it's kind of fucking whatever. It's just you're fucked. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. You're just stuck in that perpetual nonsense. But yeah, once again, shout out to YouTube. Roses are red, violets are blue. Hire a new social media manager.
Do that pronto.
Immediately, and maybe consider actually deleting that tweet. That might also be not a bad idea, but at the same time, I guess deleting the tweet would
probably be worse.
Admit that you fucked up and you know it, and now you got to explain yourself. You just have to own
it until it just it's social media.
Let it go.
People will forget.
Absolutely,
this. They've already forgot. They've already forgot about it.
Absolutely. Movies and TV, Jeff. Hit me up with a jingle.
Movies.
I actually have nothing in this list. I have no idea what's happened. Has anything happened? Anything at all?
Dude. I'm going to see Black Panther tomorrow, so I'll be able to talk about something next week.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, the
nobody
first, like,
touching
2
children
months of
or
this
women
year,
or
no, none of that. No, none of those headlines.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's just
I'm
going to
give an extra shout out to Queer Eye on Netflix. Go check that out. I also enjoyed Altered Carbon, despite what every critic seems to be complaining about it. I thought it was well done enough. I enjoyed watching it. I wouldn't mind to see more of it, and I think it was popular enough that we might see another season of it come by. So yeah, those are my 2 recommendations on Netflix right now: Altered Carbon, and could not be possibly more opposite ends of the spectrum than that. But yeah, Queer Eye and and Altered Carbon, 2 very, very good choices. Otherwise, yeah, I've got nothing.
There is nothing.
Twilight.
We talked
Twilight's
about movies
still bad.
and stuff for a little bit at the beginning of the
Twilight's still bad.
thing. Plus,
but,
we're almost 2 hours in now.
This is true.
We've been going.
This is true. Tech support time, Jeff. We're gonna see what we got here. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you woke up a woman, how would you go on with your life?
I would finger bang my vagina first. Just to say First thing I would do.
Right out of the way. I would get it done.
I would do it. I would just absolutely finger bang my vagina. And then I would, man, what would I do? That's pretty much all I can think of. It's almost like it's well, I mean, when you think about it, like if you were to ask a girl that too, like they would probably
they might not say it,
like,
but you know they're going to.
Yeah, they're gonna get a hard on and they're gonna stroke their penis, or they're gonna, like, stand pissing and things like that. I mean, I'm just so happy being a dude because there's so much shit that girls have to go through that just doesn't seem like fun, like periods and
it's a bad time.
Dealing with guys and
giving birth and
you know, just being like an emotional, like,
roller
ball
coaster
of estrogen. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like fun to me. So finger banging my own vagina is probably the highlight of what it is. It's not like I can say I would love to go on like Tinder and see how many dudes would gawk over me because I'm not into dudes. So finger banging my own vagina is the show.
I'd probably hit up Twitch IRL and make a cool meal.
You win. You won. Yes.
That's probably how I'd do it.
Oh man, I would milk the living tits out of that.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally milk the tits out of it for all it's worth. Yep. Twitch IRL. Easy peasy. That came in from Chico, who is currently still sitting Oprah money $250 a month.
Damn.
Back to back.
Damn.
What else we got here?
There ain't a whole lot of. There's like maybe.
Well, the thing is, there's only so many people in this category, right? We might have to change up which category this is made available to, if we want to have more questions come in.
Okay, what about this one here? Which do you find more annoying?
Oh boy,
flat earthers or anti-vaxxers?
This comes in from African American Jimmy.
Black Jimmy.
Black History Month Jimmy.
Absolutely, without a doubt, flat earthers.
Anti-vaxxers for me. Here's the difference. Anti-vaxxers are fucking dangerous, bro.
You know what? You're right. You're right, dude. You just changed my opinion. You just changed my. It's a hard thing to do, but you just did it.
Flat earthers are dumb as a post, but they're harmless.
Yeah,
they're harmless. What are they gonna do?
Unless they have offspring, which ultimately probably would be anti-vaxxers.
Again, worst case scenario. What do? They just think the Earth is flat. I mean, that really doesn't. I mean, you got one dude trying to build a rocket. He might kill himself, so he's a harm to himself. As long as he does it in the middle of like the salt flats where he can't hurt anyone else, that's the worst that can happen. But for anti-vaxxers, fuck that shit. Those people are not only are they stupid, but they're stupid in a way that can actually ruin the lives of other people en masse. There are diseases and shit coming back in California, like the fucking hub of anti-vax, raw water, raw breast milk, whatever other fucking stupid avocado toast ass hipster, fads that happen out there. And they've got shit coming out of the grave that we've long since put to rest, because you get a bunch of idiot mothers and fathers out there going, I don't want autism, but I could go for some polio. Like, just so dumb and dangerous, because with certain things, obviously polio isn't contagious, but there are other vaccinated things that are contagious that anti-vaxxers in large city centers, not, doing what everyone else is doing for good reason, can seriously fuck up a number of people. So, yeah, I'm going to go with anti-vaxxers on that one.
I'm with you. No. I was just thinking flat earthers just because they are fucking retarded. Anti-vaxxers.
Raw measles, raw mumps, raw rubella, raw polio. As long as it has raw in front of it, California is on that shit like white on rice. Just hop on that hype train. I'll do one more. Let's see here. This is a softball. Ryan B asks, may have already been asked, but what is your favorite esport to watch? Which do you think has the most potential to hit the level of a traditional televised sports? I guess he means in terms of like viewership or whatever, not necessarily be on TV. Although esports will eventually, it already is to a degree, but it will eventually get there. I know you don't watch a lot of anything, but is there something that if it pops up, you'll give it a look-see, not watch the entirety of it, but give it a look?
Well, my favorite esport to watch is StarCraft. Mainly just I do like watching League too. If I had to choose right now, I'd probably watch League over StarCraft. Just because the commentating usually makes it for me, and there's a lot more going on. It's a little bit more exciting. The crowds are a bit more hype. Atmosphere is better. So yeah, I'll probably go with League for my favorite esport to watch now, but back, 2012 through 15, StarCraft was the show. And for the most potential to hit televised sports, oh man, I'm probably gonna still stick with League.
Really?
As the one.
Okay.
PUBG is not, these battle royales are not quite at esport levels yet. They're kind of.
Well, it's gonna take some time to get there.
Yeah, so I could see something like that being a lot of fun to watch online, or on TV with the right commentators and things like that. But I'm probably gonna go with I hate even saying League because they're so washed up and they still haven't done it.
Yeah.
They still really haven't done it.
You'd think if it was going to happen,
it probably would have already.
Happened.
So give me a minute to think about the.
I'll say I guess
the TV one.
What I'm thinking about. So, the ones I like to watch right now when I pop on to just give it a peek. I actually like hopping around a number of esports as long as it's the best versus the best. I don't really discriminate all that much. Like I just enjoy watching people be really fucking good at video games. So, CSGO, I like watching teams go at that because the reflexes on some of those dudes is just straight up terrifying. I also enjoy Rocket League quite a bit. Rocket League is super exciting to watch at high levels. People, they do shit with those cars where I could just go into practice mode and just try by myself for hours on end and never in a million years be able to come up with doing 1/1000th of whatever these guys are doing. It's nuts. And because it's not necessarily just shooting all the time, I think it has not potentially to be the biggest, but it would be the most family-friendly TV crossover, right? It's something also that, you know, it's soccer with cars. It's a concept that's really simple. It's exciting to watch. It's easy to commentate. It's easy to spectate, and it's very flashy. So I don't think it's got the most potential because the numbers just aren't there. But they do well enough for themselves, and I enjoy watching them. I also enjoy watching the Overwatch League once in a while, not for any other reason than the production quality is just a 10 out of 10. The studio is unreal, and just the general production is very impressive. Watching Overwatch is still very difficult. It's way too hectic, and there's just too much shit going on. And even for the commentators trying to keep up, they're only really catching like 50% of what's happening at any given moment. And so, but at the same time, because even though it's a shooter, Overwatch has potential for the TV as well because it's a more family-friendly, children-friendly shooter, for sure. And because the production quality is so high, I think that also gives it a run for it.
Yeah, you know, I'm probably gonna once again, I'm just gonna have to agree with you. I think Overwatch is probably the most realistic. It's got the biggest company behind them. The production is pretty incredible. It is cartoony. It's there's killing in it, but it's not. There's
glorified.
No
blood. There's no.
It's not like Call of Duty or something.
No.
It's very light, and Blizzard knows that too.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to say. Rocket League. I get it. I don't ever see them being big on TV ever.
No, neither do I. But it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Like on paper, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense for sure. But yeah, I think that's probably the big hurdle for Battle Royale games is that even for something like Fortnite, for example, where it's super cartoony, there's not really blood or whatever, it's still a step further than let's say what Overwatch has. And just the concept of being the last one alive by itself infers that you're killing other people. And
yeah, but it's also, you know, the Hunger Games is still very, like, you know, it's...
I think people would want to see it. It's just whether or not a television studio or like a production house would take a risk on it as much.
I personally don't see esports making it on television in on any prime time or any type of reputable thing ever. I think what's going to happen is when TV becomes pretty much a on-demand thing, I think there will be an on-demand channel for everything that is esports. And I think that, you know, video game related things like that.
Like somebody within the industry is going to create the channel in which that happens.
I do not seeing it being on Fox. I do not seeing it being on any, like, even Spike or it's not even, they don't even have Spike anymore, but whatever.
Like ESPN dabbles in it right now.
Yeah, but I still don't see it being accepted because the people that want to accept it are already watching it online and there's no point. So there has to be a reason why people are watching it on TV, and I think that it's going to have to do with some sort of exclusivity rights for certain leagues or something on a specific channel that is dedicated, so that when people are tuning in, you don't have a group of fathers that are watching football, and then all of a sudden football gets turned into Rocket League. They're going to go, the fuck is this childish bullshit? It needs to be on its own dedicated place, so the people that are viewing this channel are more likely to continue watching whatever esport event there is. Now overseas, like, you know, in China or whatever, totally different culture, totally different argument, but here in North America, it's got to be an on-demand thing. It's almost got to feel like Twitch, but just on a different medium.
Yeah, like there are a bunch of things that are already on TV in different capacities, but yeah, I agree. Going big is going to be difficult, and then cross contamination is not the word I want to say, but like you said, going from like a football match and then all of a sudden, you know, here comes CS:GO is a bit too stark of a change up. So it would have to be like I make this joke all the time, but the ESPN, the Ocho, right? It's going to be like the dedicated channel for that, because it doesn't make sense to host traditional sports alongside of it. It's going to need its own analysts. It's going to need its own casters. It's going to need its own, and it's going to need its own ecosystem in which to operate. Yeah. And so I would agree also that whether or not it's before TV becomes fully on demand or not, that the highest probability would be that we would see somebody from within the industry create the channel. Like, we're talking like, if I had to take a guess, Rick Fox is going to be the guy that fucking does it. That dude has got his hands in everything. And if there was a dude who is behind esports, who is also part of traditional sports, who's also got ties to networks for television and everything else, sponsors and whatnot, that would be your guy. And so, we're gonna see like something probably out of somebody of that caliber if that were to happen at all. But yeah, it would be we're years away from that happening regardless. And then
we're still trying to find our own on the internet.
Yeah,
we're still trying to become legitimized here.
Exactly, or more well known. Like Twitch is still not necessarily. I mean, Twitch is massive. YouTube is massive. YouTube is a household name. Twitch is not necessarily a household name yet, even though it's as big as it is. So there's still that hurdle of brand recognition en masse that would need to hit for that to happen. And then of course the getting around the whole fact where people are looking at it going, this is not a sport. Why are we treating it like a sport?
Yep.
So then the argument becomes, do we even want to market it to anyone who isn't already in the space? And then once again, it becomes an issue of eyeballs and how much money we can make off of those eyeballs. So we'll see. But yeah, I would say just right now, if the playing field was leveled, Overwatch League is the one for sure. And then from there, there might be some other titles, but I think League is forever locked into the online side of things. I think Dota's forever locked into the online side of things. CSGO, I think, is already on TV in certain spots, but I think I'm not entirely sure I just, maybe I'm crazy, but I know CSGO brought down some of the biggest numbers ever in their last tournament here, like well over 1 million people, but I don't know how it transfers to TV. It'll be interesting. Battle Royale, I think out of all of it, I can see myself watching a Battle Royale specific channel. I can just turn it on, have casters commentating, people throwing themselves into the meat grinder, playing Battle Royale games, because it's just the format. It is the Hunger Games. It's kind of weird because you're at that point, you're basically playing out the Hunger Games. It's like, my district, I volunteer as tribute. Let me go on in there and do my thing. So yeah, I think that's got some possibilities as well. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
I think we can collar a podcast there. I hope that was enjoyable for all of you as always, and thank you so much for watching and listening here on Twitch. If you're watching this, listening in on YouTube or otherwise, make sure to head on over to technicalalpha.audio, patreon.com/technicalalpha, and get involved there with the communities.
Yep,
for sure. I believe this list, I'm going to go to the website. I have this list up. I'm going to go to the website because I think Simon fixed the code for it. Yeah, I think this is the updated list. So Jetrix, not all these names will be up here, so forgive me. Jetrix still at 5. I don't know.
My family thanks you, Jet.
I don't know.
My family thanks you.
What we're doing, but dude, holy damn. That's all I can say. Damn. Gentrix hitting us up at that $500 tier. Postal Panda and Chico also, again, $250. And then a whole host of people at this $100, some of which have been here for longer than I've been alive. Derek P, Naily, Adam B, Jamaican J, Jorbach, Toad of Steel, Matthew M, sorry. Thank you all so much for that. Haven't got a chance to talk to Panic today about the shipments, but as of the 10th, the majority of anything that required a poster, which was separate from the smaller packages, which were sent out earlier than that, We're out on the 10th, so we'll have more information there soon. And the saga of all of this stuff being sent out will soon come to a close, and then I'll be able to sleep at night.
Start taking pictures too. Like, you guys should start receiving this stuff. Like, tweet it out, stuff like that.
Absolutely, tweet it out at us, and we'd love to see it. We'd love to know that you have it in your hands and that it looks good and you're happy with it. And we can't wait for that. So thank you guys so much once again, and we can't wait to see you next week, same time, same place, the usual. And until we do see you. Peace.